Half a day, my name's Chetlu, and I'm going to make a video today talking about some of these matchmaking changes that HiRez Stew, the president of HiRez, kind of put out there. There's been a lot of talk in the community about how bad matchmaking's been, I feel like, for a very long time. And I think this is like the biggest change they've done to it since they did the a soft kind of reset a couple seasons ago. But yeah, this is the biggest change. I kind of want to make a video on it, kind of get some of my thoughts out there, because there's a lot of stuff to talk about in this, and I'm split on how I feel about it. It starts off with them saying, hey, we just wanted to give you an update, saying that we're continuing to improve Smite Matchmaking. You know, they've been constantly tweaking matchmaking algorithms, which, you know, they have been saying they've been doing. 1.5 million players play the game monthly, and that's highly fragmented among the 3 platforms, PC, PS4, Xbox, 7 regions, 8 normal and 3 ranked game modes. And it says equally spread of play among the top game modes, Arena, Conquest, and Joust 3v3. I feel like when they had put it out there, I saw that Arena and Joust had a pretty decent lead on Conquest. With game modes that run 30 minutes, only a small fraction of players wanting to play a particular game mode at a particular time in a particular region are queuing. And as an older game with a massive high skill ceiling, you have a wide divergence of skill levels among players, which can be complicated by party grouping. So all these things, you know, especially putting it all out there, all those numbers out there, oh my goodness. No wonder why it is so hard to find a game. 3 platforms, 7 different regions that all have their own matchmaking. I can't remember if they pulled away that change where they had Latam kind of like playing with NA. But then they also have 11 game modes. That's a lot. That's a huge amount of ways to divide a player base, especially if not everybody's playing at once. It's 1.5 million playing monthly. Who knows, you know, how those numbers look, you know, Wednesday morning or some time like that when not as many players are going to be playing. All of these changes may be controversial. Please let us know your thoughts on these changes, and I'm going to in this video. All queues would be moved to timed queues, which means that each queue will have a countdown timer that tells you when it will pop. When the queue pops, each player in queue gets a match invite. Everyone that accepts a match invite is then match made with other players in the queue at that time, with a high preference toward matching players of similar skill. And because of an odd number of players that would be queuing, some players will be forced to wait for the next timer. So they mentioned also that they had a similar queuing system in the early days of Smite. Note about this system, the more popular game modes will have shorter timers, like Arena, Joust, and Conquest. And modes like Clash, Siege, and Mode of the Day will have longer queue times just because they don't have as many players playing. Okay, so I don't think I've ever seen this like implemented in a video game for matchmaking. I've seen this as like, the first thing I thought of when I read this was like how in some shooters, you know, you'll have your group spawns where you're just kind of waiting for other people to spawn. So you can all join at the same time, so you're not just getting picked off one-on-one. That's kind of the way I see that, and if that's the case, then I'm actually okay with that. I don't have a problem with that. I feel like as long as these aren't ridiculously long, and hopefully they wouldn't be. I think anything more than 5 minutes is too long, but anything shorter than that should be fine. I mean, I feel like whenever I mostly play ranked 3v3, with that I feel like I wait about 3 to 4 minutes for a match anyway, so I actually like that change. I think that's an awesome decision to make. I have no problems with that. So yeah, that's pretty exciting. I don't know. I feel like I've been watching a lot of Siege videos, so I might want to try Siege. So I'd be really interested in seeing how that also would be effective, or affected, just by the sheer amount of players that don't queue for that mode as much as it seems like maybe. Alright, so that's that change. Like I said, time queues, I think that's an awesome idea. And especially if they use it in the early days, and Carnier already have the system in place for that. So hopefully that's just an easy boom, and then it's changed. Alright, now this is this one's kind of crazy, so you're gonna have to walk slowly with me. Conquest is obviously the most competitive and hardcore of our game modes, and thus one of the most difficult for matchmaking. Around 10% of the people that play Conquest daily have over 750 wins in Conquest. The median player has around 100 wins, and that means half the players have less than that. So they want to split the Conquest queue into 3 different queues: a normal, an elite, and then you have your ranked queues. The normal queue would be players with less than 50 wins, and that's just how normal Conquest is today. with you just pick whatever god you want, whatever god you have available, no duplicates, and that's the end of it. Now this is the interesting part. An elite queue that is reserved for players with more than 50 conquest wins. And this queue would have picks, but not bans. So I'm okay with that. I get so upset, you know, when I'm pub stomping, you know, and I'm doing really good and I feel really good, and I go look and the person's like level 20. You know, I think on Smite, I don't know if it shows in the pause menu or anything, but I'm at like a 120 on Xbox. Me playing against someone that hasn't even broken 30 yet, I think is completely unfair, and that should not happen. So splitting into an elite queue, I like that. Now this picks thing, and I assume, and I mean I don't think it's too much of a stretch to assume that this is just picks and bans phase without bans. Picks would be interesting. I think the most frustrating part of playing casuals, and the reason why I don't like playing casuals as much as I like playing ranked, is because, you know, I'm just gonna want to goof. When I play casuals, I kind of want to just goof off. I want to play as a, you know, character, but then you play against, you know, teams of tryhards, and you find more of that, a problem with that with like casual joust, where, you know, you'd be like, oh, you know, I'm gonna try out the new god Chernobog, so I'm gonna play casuals, and then, you know, we're playing against a team of like Zeus, Opwash, and I don't even know, Medusa. You know, and it's just like, well, it would have been really nice if I could have seen at least some of that, so I could have, you know, built a counterplay against it. So I think having picks phase is interesting. I'm really excited about that, but I would have been more excited about that at bans as well. And then the last part is ranked would be solo queue only, and this would use the normal picks and bans system today. Now, I'll be honest, changing it from duo queue to solo queue will probably reduce the amount of ranked conquest that I play. I don't play it as much as I used to. I used to play a lot of ranked solo queue, but I feel like mostly nowadays I like having the comfort of having at least one person I could trust on my team, and that's why I like, you know, queuing with my friends. But I feel like if everybody is solo queue, then you won't have those situations where it's just like a high level person bringing in someone that might not be particularly good, and, you know, this will also give you your true skill or true rank or whatever by having everybody solo queue. So it makes me kind of sad, but at the same time, I think it's good, especially since they're making that change to casual conquest. I think when they first announced, oh, maybe we'll do solo queue, my first thought was, I would really like to see picks and bans for casuals. I don't know how you do that, especially with players that are free to play and don't necessarily have the god pack and wouldn't have those options, or new players who are like trying to win one god. But I think this elite queue, I think that's interesting. It's 50 wins, so you know, I feel like I lose most of my conquest matches, so I mean, it'd take me a long time to get 50 wins, so I think that'd be pretty fairly balanced. Overall, I like the changes, their decisions that they're making here. I really like the idea of that timer queue, because when I first saw that people, you know, like they want to do solo queues, they want to get rid of Siege and Clash, it's like, you know, Clash is, I hate Clash. But I know that people do like Clash, and that's their favorite modes. You don't want to kick people out of the game right now, especially since there's all these, seems the zeitgeist right now is talking about how Smite's failing. I don't know if that's true or not. The only thing that I know of is that if you cut those game modes out, people aren't going to go, well, I guess I got to play Conquest now. They might just leave completely. You know, if Smite's like, oh, well, Arena's the most popular mode, so we're just going to keep Arena, I'd probably delete the game. I don't have a lot of interest in Arena. You know, I only really play it when it's first one of the day. And because I like those more, I like those more objective focused things like Conquest and Joust and Siege. But yeah, in general, I think it's a good idea. All right, well, thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to check me out, you know, we have our podcast, Uncommon Drops. Logo's right there. Check us out on like iTunes. I think iTunes and SoundCloud are where we are at right now. We kind of just got started with it. We used to have an older podcast, but we wanted to reformat it, make it into a new thing. I stream on Twitch. I'm trying to do that every night. We'll get some podcasts rolling, and maybe, you know, if we have an interesting conversation while, you know, we're streaming, maybe I'll take that down and maybe I'll put it on my channel. But yeah, check us out. My name's Chatlu. Thank you for watching, and we'll chat later.